In a secret L.G.B. laboratory, cleverly disguised to look like his mother's kitchen, Jared Etzel is testing the durability of an L.G.B. engine.
About 3 feet, 41. This looks good. All right. Brand new. Kids, don't try this at home. I'm a professional.
Boy, are you in big trouble now?
No problem. It's L.G.B. Good as new.
Jared used an aquarium full of goldfish for this test, but even if you have piranhas, your L.G.B. engine is guaranteed for a full 5 years when you buy from an authorized L.G.B. retailer. Jared thinks you'll never need that guarantee.
With a commercial out of the way and the heavy work almost done inside, it's time to have a little fun. That's what thousands of San Diegans do every year at the Del Mar Fair, and for the past several years, L.G.B. has been there. A garden railway really requires 2 things. That's right, a garden and a railway. Well, here they both are. The idea was to make it a natural setting, not see how many flowers you can plant, but make it look like the kind of landscape a train might really run through. Let's take a ride. This isn't the kind of display that springs up overnight. The Garden Railway Society members worked for 5 weeks to get it like this. The trains, the track, the plants, the rocks, some of them weighing 5,000 pounds, all done just for the Del Mar Fair.
Exactly, we did. We brought it all in just for this exhibit. We'll all go out after the fair. This rock, by the way, comes from Colorado, so it came from Colorado to San Marcos and then down to the fair.
It's the kind of thing that must intrigue a lot of people because they show up in great numbers to watch. Young and old alike, generations sharing the sight of trains moving through rocks and foliage.
They just don't have a lumber train here.
Yes, they do. Look, see?
Yeah.
One of the appeals of the Garden Railway is that it gets a lot of people involved. For people who love working with trains, there are obviously plenty of trains. And for people who love gardening, there's a lot of gardening to do. It's something a lot of couples are getting involved with. Husband and wife do their own thing, but toward a common goal.
When the men had the trains in the attic and the basement, it was the men's game. But once it came out into the garden, we got involved because the garden's mostly our territory.
People will watch this train wind its way through its downsized forest through Sunday. Then, of course, when the fair ends, this exhibit will end too. It will exist only in memory and in pictures and videotape.
You know, you start getting attached to it, and everybody says, surely you're going to leave this up, forever. And no, I think we'll take it down and divvy the rocks up, and what we'll probably do next time is have an entirely different design concept next year, and it'll be fun all over again.
There is always next year, but it's going to be difficult to top this year. This is quite a ride. The San Diego Garden and Railroad Club's exhibit at the fair has been in the Flower Pavilion with all the greenery. Up north in Fontana, Ted and Charlie Greeno took the green out of their greenhouse. It looks like a scene from the Addams Family. But it's a scene from the Greeno greenhouse, where once there were exotic flowers growing, now there are G-scale trains in exotic settings. Ted and Charlie Greeno like trains, but they like them better when they frame a little bit of yesteryear.
The church and the Indian village, almost any of them, take attention away from just the general thing of walking to a train layout.
Light is her life. Charlie Greeno designs lights, special lights. Lights for the homes of Lionel Richie, Kenny Rogers, and the late Michael Landon. Ted, who is the light of her life, works with her doing the engineering and fabrication. The job keeps them together, so does the hobby.
With so many families torn apart, I think it's a plus, a real plus, that you enjoy things together.
It's not the little gauges that like HO and N gauge and such where the man is off in the basement or in the attic all by himself. It's involving the whole family, and that's why it's really, I think it's a fantastic
Oh, I do too.
gauge. Boom.
I love it.
Big cities, the American frontier. Kind of surprising to hear that Ted's first purchase was the 2301 European starter set. Ted collected the European style until 3 years ago when he went wild about the West. Now that he has found his niche, his time and place, so to speak, Ted is working down to the details, to automation. To details like a cave formed from amethyst geodes. To automation that protects the life of a railroad worker as he crosses the main line from a crystal cave. Kind of appropriate that this railroad is here in a greenhouse. It's a moving, natural, almost living labor of love, as exotic as any flower that called this place home.
It's our joy. It's our hobby, it's our joy, and we love it.
From around the world to out of this world. Out of this world certainly describes the layout of Roger Clarkson in Riverside, California. Roger Clarkson has a big layout. How big, you ask? It's so large, Roger keeps an eye on his trains with a remote video camera. So big that the monitors and control panel are in an air-conditioned gazebo. It's so large that Roger has about 4/10 of a mile of track in a double main line. There is a huge, covered, lockable train storage yard. Still not impressed? Roger runs trains that could stock a small hobby shop.
Oh, I love to run 25, 30 car trains. I like to see those trains when they pull up that grade over that 1% grade we have up there, especially those mallees when you see that smoke coming out and all those wheels and mechanisms working. It's an amazing piece of engineering. Yeah, what's special about it, it looks real on a railroad this size. It really does look real.
Realism. To achieve it, Roger worked from 7 a.m. to dark when he started his layout in October of '88. He moved 188 cubic yards of topsoil. But a big railroad doesn't mean big problems.
I don't think people should be intimidated. All it really is This railroad is a bunch of, what I'd say, just small railroads put together, you know. That's what it really is. It's just one block of power hooked to another block of power.
Roger says he recommends sticking to the basics.
You want to do good track work. You want to make sure you have continuity in your tracks. You want to make sure that that the electricity is always flowing through those tracks properly by putting jumper wires around it. You want a good base of gravel for drainage and so on.
Roger came to L.G.B. after a love affair with H.O.
The only time I ever seen any L.G.B. was at a train store, and as I said, I was in another gauge at that time, and I thought it was for, you know, children, L.G.B. But really, I did not realize how prototypical an L.G.B. train could be. And when I saw it running, it was just absolutely gave me shivers down my spine.
Roger's wife, Faith, has been an equal partner in the railroad. Faith has done everything from planning and planting to track work. By now, you may be saying, yeah, it looks like you're right. It's a big layout. But in case you're still not convinced, consider. It takes 17 amps of power just to run the city. The city is served by mass transit and its own airport. When the circus comes to the city, it sets up on its own island in the town lake, where Roger can run radio-controlled boats. Roger's heart is as big as his railroad. He throws parties for underprivileged kids, opens his house to the elderly from nearby nursing homes. He holds clinics for those who ask. Now, all things considered, are you surprised that this is known by his pals as Clarkson Railroad Park?
Margaret Radford. This is an LGB car. Its scale is 1 to 22.5. This is also an LGB car. Its scale is 1 to 1. This car runs on LGB track. So does this one.
It's getting late, way past midnight in Germany. Nuremberg has been closed for hours. Upstairs, Wolfgang and Wilfred are planning tomorrow's operations. Elsa is closing out the books for the day. Upstairs, it's quiet in the warehouse. The orders have all been filled. A huge operation spanning the globe, a worldwide love affair with trains, with especially strong feelings of affection here in America. Why? Well, my friend Larry Himmel has some thoughts on that.